morning, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Thank y'all so much for tapping back in to see what I have to say. Y'all, we talking about Hadera in this one, okay? Now, more specifically, we are talking about a newly announced governing council member of Hadera, and that is the Nairobi's Security Exchange, okay? Yes, we have an entire security exchange of a country now sitting on the governing council of Hadera, and they joined the likes of things like LG and Boeing and Shihan Bank, which is the oldest bank in China, and Standard Bank, which is the largest bank in Africa. You have things like T-Mobile and so many other things like Mondelez, which is the parent company of things like Oreo and Chips Ahoy. You know, we're talking major global conglomerates sitting on this governing council for Hadera, okay? So one of new member of that is the Security Exchange of Nairobi, okay? Now, I have an interview coming directly from the CEO of that security exchange. This first part of this interview, he's basically just talking about them diving into the Web3 sector, why they chose Hadera, and the benefits that they see from the partnership with Hadera and the other governing council members, okay? So follow me on this, okay? So we're gonna go straight to that video and I'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Frank Mweti. I'm the CEO of the Nairobi Securities Exchange based in Nairobi in Kenya. The Nairobi Securities Exchange is the leading exchange in Eastern and Central Africa and one of the top 5 exchanges in Africa. We've just celebrated our 70 years of being in operation. So it's also means that it's one of the oldest exchanges in Africa. Fairly mature in the sense that we offer quite a variety of products on our exchange, including equities, fixed income, real estate investment trust, ETFs, derivatives, and the like. More importantly, we service a broad range of sectors on our exchange that cuts across the likes of manufacturing, banking, insurance, telecoms, among others. The nature of our exchange is that it also serves clients outside of Kenya. So we have a lot of foreign investors on our exchange, and of course we also celebrate other Pan-African initiatives that are part and parcel of what we offer at the exchange. We joined the Hadera Governing Council for a number of reasons. 3 of them are the 3 most compelling ones. The first one is we want to learn from other leading organizations that are part of the Hadera Governing Council, and translate those learnings to practical use cases for us in our part of the world, with a view, of course, to developing our own markets and making sure that those markets are our development is also aligned with what's happening around the world from our global standards. The second thing that is compelling for us is the use cases that we see already being implemented by the Hadera community, and so we resonate with those use cases and would want to learn more about those and translate them, of course, to actual implementations on our side. The third one, of course, is the opportunity to network with like-minded individuals that see the potential for blockchain and distributed ledger technology as a way to solve a lot of the challenges that we have back home. And so for that reason, we as NSE actually see this as a huge opportunity to learn, to develop, and of course also share our own learnings that might be useful to other members of the council and the larger Hadera community.
Now you guys just saw directly from the man who is in charge's mouth the reasons why he decided to go with Hadera for the security and the resilienceness and the fast transactions and all these other things, but more importantly, the regulatory compliance of the company as well. That kind of sort of goes back to the video that I did the other day, talking about the regulatory regime in America now changing with all of these new players in like the crypto czar and all of these house coalitions now working together, building out regulation in America. Okay, well, this next video, it is the same interview, but he's diving more so into the realm of tokenization. Now put this in your mind as far as transactions through Hadera. Think of if this entire securities exchange transactions get tokenized on top of Hadera, because we know Hadera has a Hadera tokenization studio. They also have a Hadera stablecoin studio. And to know what that whole stablecoin studio, understand is people like MTech, which is another company that's built on top of Hadera. And they're working with, I want to say it's 5 central banks in Africa as well. Understand what Hadera is doing and understand they are strategically placing themselves globally to have a global impact. Okay, so here is this next part of that video from the CEO of the Nairobi Securities Exchange.
Tokenization for us, we see it as actually a very revolutionary approach to solving a lot of the challenges that we have back home. We are finding that there is opportunity to use tokenization to democratize access to investment opportunities and also to democratize access to capital to build businesses. And if you look at how traditionally exchanges like ours have been run, it's very technology dependent, but it's also been very much a legacy type way of doing things. We see opportunities to do things quicker, more secure, in a more accessible way by embracing DLT and blockchain related technologies. And tokenization as one of the key ways to support our investor community to access opportunities more readily, more easily. For companies that are looking to raise capital, to use tokenization as an approach to tap capital both within our borders as well as outside Kenya in a regulated and compliant way. And then at the end of it, we also see this as a tokenization as a way to really scale things very quickly. And we want to do that, of course, in the context of compliance, regulation, and of course in a way that is secure. Maybe the other thing to mention about tokenization from an approach perspective is it is already, from what we can see, it is an already proven method. We are not having to experiment too much, but obviously we need to tailor that to our own circumstances. So for that reason, it's very innovative, it's very accessible, it's scalable. If we by leveraging Hedera, it would be even more successful in our view. It is one of the areas where we really want to actually focus on. I know there's many other use cases that are possible, but for us as NSE, the entry point and the focus point is going to be tokenization.
Now you just saw out of his own mouth as far as tokenization and how regulatory compliant that they not want to be, but need to be for the criticalness of the future in their country, and how they're tapping into DLT, more specifically Hadera hash graph, ticker symbol HBAR. Incredible, absolutely incredible. Understand that these ISO tokens, the ones that we've been talking about, your HBAR, your Quant, your XRP, your XLMs, they have been working alongside of the regulators in these countries, giving them guidance, helping them build out infrastructure, helping them build out a framework so that laws can be codified and laid in these countries, so that the companies that reside in those countries can start operating in the Web3 space. Going back to the Crypto Czar press conference, it's like one of the guys said, yo, we've been wanting to do this literally since before FTX sent a tailspin that was like almost like a death spiral with the whole calamity of FTX. But to know that they have been there even since then, and understand that was a few years ago. So, but quietly, they've been working behind the scenes, getting their ducks in a row. So when we got back to the point where we circled back around to now, it's time for this space to be taken seriously again, and so serious to where now we're going to have laws codified around it so that you can operate and that you can do business, okay? And that's just not here in America. As we can see, that is global, okay? So understand what Hadera is doing. Understand and see that they have moved strategically with purpose so that they can implement solutions to these huge companies and things, security exchanges and mega players like Mondelez and their digital coupons. That's like insane, the amount of coupons that go out annually. You know what I'm saying? But understand what they're doing. Small steps, things like one of the videos that I've recently did with Drop, and understand what's happening with the micro payments. Now, understand how many transactions will start to flow once the retail sector of Web3 actually wakes up to it. And when I mean wake up, I don't mean it's necessarily wake up and understand that they're utilizing it, but see that there's a new payment that they could possibly use, and the fee. Because understand this, with every payment that we do, there is a fee associated with that payment. And so that is the reason why, sometimes you spent $30 and then the taxes and fees come up to $6 or $7. And you're like, well, dang, that's a lot of taxes and fees, because all these people on the back end have to get paid for the processing of that payment. And I understand with Web3, it cuts out like 90% of those people, which then brings down the cost of what that payment processing is going to be. Now multiply that for a company that does hundreds, if not thousands of transactions per day, as far as the bottom line savings annually from just fees alone. Okay. Now understand that, not saying there's going to be zero fees, but there will be a drop fee and there will be a Hadera fee, but it's going to be so minuscule that you won't even realize. So like, let's just say, for instance, your transaction fee was before this $5, and now that same transaction fee goes down to $1.50. Well, there's gonna be other people that's getting their breaks, like Overledger will have a fee associated with this whole thing. Whatever service you're using will have a fee. Visa will have a fee. Whoever will have a fee, but the cost for those transactions will drop, which means the cost for the consumer will drop. Understand what that means. People will always gravitate towards things that are faster and cheaper. That is just human nature. Okay? Remember that. So I'm done with this rant. Oh, if you guys made it through this whole video, I want you to put NSE, which stands for Nairobi's Security Exchange. Okay? Put that in the comment section. Okay? I thank y'all for tuning in, and I thank y'all for tapping in. I really, really, truly do. And if you really tap in with your boy, I tap back. I try to answer every single comment that comes through. I appreciate y'all. But till the next time, y'all already know. Peace out.